What up, people? That's out here in Singapore. And as always, thank you so much for joining me on the Night Owl podcast. You guys, I have been thinking so much about the fact that I dream a lot, like all day long on all kinds of stuff. And even though I dream, a lot of times I don't do anything about it. So Pinterest is the devil for me. I will sit on Pinterest forever and look through designs and recipes. And I've got boards for everything, like thousands of boards. And honestly, if I were to sneak over onto Pinterest and look, I have about 17,000 unique viewers, but I only have 180 followers. Now that's changed and slipped and slid a lot over the years because of the way that they've designed the algorithm for Pinterest, because there was a time where I had 60,000 followers, and before that I had 120,000 followers, and then it dipped and went up and dipped and went up, and I was like, okay, I don't understand what's going on. I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing. But at the time I was using Pinterest as a personal board, so I would collect recipes and spa ideas and alchemical stuff, meaning to say that if I can make it out of household supplies, I would. And I love that. I love the ideas. I love the possibility of crafting from hand because I feel good about those things, right? I feel like I put in a little bit of my heart somewhere. So here's the thing though. Y'all may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I know all of y'all do that same shit too. But here's the problem. You can't become the person you want to be unless you put some work into it. So here's a quote from Henry David Thoreau that says, "You cannot dream yourself into a character. You must hammer and forge yourself into one instead." And I love that. I really, really love that because, yeah, I can look at all the cool workout plans and I can look at all the really beautiful bathing suits and the perfect places to travel and all the yummy food to make, but unless I get out there and do some of this stuff, it's still a dream. It's still a pipe dream, okay? It's still out there in the ether somewhere and it's not concrete. It's not something I can touch. It's not something I can pass on by any means. So here's what I'm saying. As much as you dream, do something about your dreams as well. So a couple episodes ago, I talked about 100 dreams, and they don't have to be big, lofty dreams or ideals. They could be simple things like you've always wanted to try making your own lip gloss, so what do you need to get? Put them into a shopping list. Go get the Vaseline or, the lip balm or the, what is it? Beeswax or whatever it is you want to make and figure it out. Put the work in and see if you can make it for yourself. I've had so many people talk about, oh my gosh, I want my own line of eyelashes. Okay, well, what do you need? And I'm the silly person that everyone would come to me and be like, I want to do this and I want to do that. And suddenly I have a million ideas of how they could get that done. But guess what? I could do it for other people. I can't do it for myself. I am terrible that way. But as the saying goes, as much as I would do for other people, I need to do for myself as well. So I'm trying to work through those things, but in the meantime, yeah, I'm really good and really resourceful about how I can get other people to their dreams. One of my pet peeves is people who say, oh, I can't get here until I have this, or I buy that, or I got the certification. Because you know what? There are plenty of people on YouTube that don't have any credentials whatsoever, but they are putting themselves out there as the expert in whatever it is. So if they can have the courage and the confidence to do that for themselves, why can't we? And as much education as we've been through, because trust me, I've been through imposter syndrome. Actually, I go through it every other day, but I go through it a lot and I understand what that means. And if I can find the way to feel good about something, some small corner of what I know, to put it out there and say, hey, yeah, I'm an expert on this, then so can you. I know that if I look back over the course of my life, there are so many things that I've made that I finally got up the courage to take what was on my phone or in a book or on TV somewhere and make it into real life. I've made clothes before. I've made makeup before. I've made food, obviously, household decorations, wreaths for Christmas. I've made sweaters and blankets. I've made beanies. I've made a lot of stuff, y'all. And I didn't think that I could, but it's one of those things where I got bored and I didn't have a lot of money where I could go out and do fun things. Those experiences that are once in a while experiences. So what I did was instead create an experience out of a skill because I mastered the skill. I can't tell you how many hours I spent knitting, sitting in front of a TV while I was in college as a dorm director after I graduated, or how many times I pored over cookbooks to find recipes that I understood well enough to be able to execute on my own, or even then make art pieces out of everyday recycled material so that I could create something that would be fun and interesting and different as a gift for someone that I knew, because I couldn't buy the ready-made whatever. Actually, the handmade stuff turned out so much better, so I'm glad I didn't do that either. But these are the things that I dabble in, and these are the things that make me so excited about life. But then again, you can't spend your life watching other people do. You got to get out there and do as well. As much as I read books on, how to become a better chef or a better arts and crafts person. I mean, Martha Stewart's Encyclopedia of Arts and Crafts, I love that. But what's the point of loving it if I'm not going to go out there and buy the things that I need to buy and do the things that I need to do? Obviously, art supplies aren't cheap, but there are plenty of things that I could do in the meanwhile that kind of lead up to that level. So I've always been one of those people that's been trying to find a way to make $1 out of 15 cents. And as crazy as that sounds, it is actually possible. The biggest markup on any product that you can sell is actually on food. And people don't talk about that, but that's why everyone starts a restaurant, but then also everyone finds a difficulty in keeping the restaurant up because of the overhead costs, the rental, and all that stuff. So now all of our home bakers have the added advantage of their own home kitchen, and then there's no overhead or real, upkeep costs except for what you buy for supplies and then how much it costs to package them and then possibly deliver. That's a service that you offer. So there are ways and means to make $1 out of 15 cents. It's just a matter of how you put your mind to it. Now, I haven't sold a lot of my crafts, mostly because I wasn't into promoting myself. I've never been into promoting myself. I'm learning. Okay, I'm getting there. But I've made PDFs and what is it? Promotional materials for people, flyers and brochures. I've made media kits for people. I've created all kinds of stuff for other people, and I'm happy to do it, and they've paid me for the work, but it's because they've asked me specifically to do these things. But on the whole, I haven't actually gotten to a place where I feel comfortable enough with my work where I can put it out there for public display for people to buy for the general public. But I'm getting there. That's part of the works at the moment. But this is where I look at design on Pinterest, or if I look at, workouts that will help me get to my goals as far as my body and my strength and my stamina, or even, the way that I want to make clothes or adjust clothes once I buy ready-made ones that don't quite fit the way that I want them to. This is the way that I save money. I don't cut corners, but I do save money, and I will say that for myself. I am plenty resourceful. I know that the cost of the pieces is a lot lower than the cost of the finished product, and I see where the markups are, and I love that. I appreciate that. One of the things that I really admire my ex-husband for is he was the kind of guy who understood what it meant to go to Advanced Auto Parts and buy the pieces necessary for the engine work, or the repair work on his car. He would buy the pieces, and then he'd go straight to the mechanic and say, hey, you know what, I've got the pieces, all I'm going to pay you for now is the labor. So he cut costs, because what you don't seem to realize is when you go to the mechanic and ask them to buy the pieces and you're paying for the labor, they're going to mark up the price somewhere, right? So I realized that because of him, there were so many other ways that you could save money and make it so that you understand more about the world itself, because let's face it, there is a big gap in the way we do things. There was a generation of our parents who they built everything from scratch, and they took care of everything that they ever bought because they did not want to have to replace it. They were the makers and the mechanics and the fixers that were able to basically anything mechanical they were able to fix or replace or adjust so that it worked better than it ever did before. My generation is kind of caught between that and the millennials. The millennials would rather throw it away and buy brand new, and my generation is caught between the two of them. So we know the kinds of things that we buy sometimes aren't made to last. So we're ready to throw those away and buy new ones. But if you pay, a very hefty price for something that is of quality, you know that you're going to have to learn how to upkeep it just so you don't have to throw it away. Otherwise, it feels like, you've thrown away so much money down the drain itself. So I know I am a dreamer, and I know that I'm not the only one. But what's the point of dreaming if you're not going to put that into your arsenal of who you are? Like, add to the quality and the quantity of the skills that you have within you as well. Because guess what? If you invest in yourself, you are your number one asset. That knowledge can never be taken away from you. Now, you could forget the knowledge and put it in a back shelf in your mind somewhere, but the knowledge is still there. And especially if it's something to do with your hands, where you're physically, mechanically doing something, it's like muscle memory. If you, haven't ridden a bike in 20 years and you get back on a bike, it's not going to take you very long to figure out, the cadence of cycling all over again. You'll get there. Same thing with tennis and soccer and knitting, for that matter, sewing, any of those beautiful, beautiful things that are ingrained into us once we've learned to do them a couple times. Yeah. And even then, it's like this podcast, I'll be able to do a podcast from now until the end of time, because I know what it's like to talk to myself in a room and have it recorded and feel pretty good about the message that I'm putting out there, so I don't have to edit it. There's so much that goes into all these things. So I feel pretty good about this. I'm glad I'm a dreamer, but on top of being a dreamer, I'm a doer as well. So I'm hoping that this is the push you needed to hear that, hey, you know what? There are dreamers out there, but there is a difference between dreaming and just dreaming, and then dreaming and doing and make it into a reality for yourself. Because guess what? 2020 has definitely shown us that we need to have different ways to make income. And why not add to your arsenal of skills and use your brain to make the money you need to be able to survive the kind of lifestyle that you want? You hear what I'm saying? All right, you guys, I hope this helped. If you have any questions, comments, drop them down below. I do want to hear from you. But in the meantime, think about what I said. I think it would be thrilling to make your dreams into reality, even if they're small dreams, even if it's just like, making your own ice cream for once or making your own liquor. Look, I've done both, and it's pretty interesting. So I love you guys. I hope this helps, and I'll catch you again soon. Bye.